Hi there, and welcome to Pregnancy and Postpartum TV with Jessica. Today we're going to be doing a full body prenatal stretch. So often with pregnancy, with the change of hormones and change in our weight and where our weight is distributed, our bodies are often really sore. So today's stretch class is going to make your body feel so great and amazing to help with some of that aches and pains and just sort of body soreness that we get in pregnancy. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jessica. I am a dietitian, a bariatric and diabetes educator, and also a pre and postnatal fitness instructor. So obviously you're here and you know how important fitness is for your pregnancy, but nutrition is also just as important for growing a healthy baby. So if you haven't already, make sure that you go to the description and you can check the link and grab my prenatal meal plan, which focuses on healthy weight gain and also reducing your risk of diabetes in pregnancy or gestational diabetes. So it focuses on low glycemic index foods and healthy blood sugars. And also, if you're starting a new exercise routine, always make sure that you check with your doctor and make sure that you don't do anything that feels uncomfortable or unsafe. Stop if you need to, and we will get started. So today we're going to need either a strap, or you could use a resistance band, or if you don't have either of those, you could use a towel, or even just take a pair of pants and then hold on to either one of the legs, just to help with some of the stretches. And we are actually going to start standing up. It's important to warm up before we do any stretches. So if you wanted to go for a brisk walk, you could do that, or we'll do a few minutes of warming up. So we'll just start standing up actually. And we'll just start with walking on the spot. So just to get our heart rate going, you can start to take some deep breaths in and out and swing your arms. You can lift your knees up. Good. Just warming up our body. And now we're going to do some step touches with some slapjack arms. So we're going to do low impact here. Just during pregnancy, we're not going to be doing any crazy jumping around. So we're going to step out to the side, but at the same time, take your hands back. So we're moving our hands. Good. So step, touch, and slapjack arms. We'll keep doing this. Great. So keep breathing, deep breaths. You want to get your heart rate up slowly, but much better to stretch when we're feeling a little bit warm. We'll do a few more of these. Good. And next we're going to do knee up with a punch. So do one more here, and you can separate your feet hip width distance apart. And as you bring a knee up, you're going to punch with the opposite arm. So we'll do this, punch, punch, punch. Good. Looking good. We'll do a few more of these. 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Perfect. And now we're going to turn to the side and we're going to do some squat mini pulses. So separate your feet apart, and then as if you're sitting down in a chair, we'll go into a squat here, and then we're going to pulse, pulse, pulse. Good. Relax your shoulders down your back. The deeper you go, the harder it's going to be. You should feel your quads burning here. And we'll do a few more here. And last one, and up. Perfect. So we'll just do that set one more time, and then we'll get into our stretches. So walk, swinging your arms, lifting your knees up high. Nice. Start to feel your breath getting a little bit heavier now. A few more here, and then we'll move into our step touch with our slapjack arms. Nice. So bring your feet together and step out. Touch, touch, touch. So when your toe is out, your hands are touching behind your back. Good. Touch, touch, touch. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, perfect. And knee up, punch. Good. So knee nice and high. If you need to bring them out to the side a little bit, if your belly is big, that's absolutely fine. 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Good. And now we'll turn the other way and feet nice and wide apart, hands up, and sit back into your chair and pulse. Pulse. Good. Activating your glutes, your quads. And a couple more here. And up. Good. And now we're actually going to start on our knees. So we can come down onto your knees and we'll start here. First, we're going to start with tiny fencer stretch. So we're going to bring our knees underneath our hips so they're hip width distance apart. And then we're going to bring our right leg up. So bring it first in front of you. And then you almost want it to put it outside of the mat and then walk your toes forward. And then we're going to shift the weight in our hips forward over here, and you can either place your elbow on your knee here, or if you can reach down to your foot here, and then you can press your knee open with your arm and stretch this arm up. So this should be a really good stretch all through here, and then also you can stretch through your chest and your shoulders here. Take a couple deep breaths. And we'll stretch out our shoulders a little bit more by doing some arm circles. So reaching all the way around, whatever feels good here. And another circle all the way around. Good. One more circle. And stretching out your shoulder, looking up at your hand. And we'll slowly shift our weight back to hands and knees and bring our foot back in, and now we'll move into thread the needle. So picking up your right hand and dropping your shoulder onto the ground here, resting your head, and you can take your left hand up and just relax it on your back there, and take a couple of deep breaths here. You can shut your eyes if that feels good. And when you're ready, bring that left hand back down beside your face and pushing the back up onto hands and knees. And now we'll take our left leg out to the side, and you can drop your left hip into that to get a stretch throughout your groin and stretch out there. Take a couple of deep breaths. And we'll bring that knee back in, and you can place your toes together, sit back into child's pose, stretch out into child's pose, stretching out your fingers as far as they'll go, walking them out in front of you. And then bringing them back in, you can walk your hands out towards the side, giving yourself a good stretch along that right side body. And walking your hands back towards the other side and giving yourself a good stretch along the left side. Good, and coming back up onto hands and knees, and you can stay where you are. I'm just going to switch around so you can see what I'm doing on the other side. So now we're going to do tiny fencer stretch on the other side. So this time bringing the left foot out in front of you, bringing it to the outside of your mat, walking your toes out, shifting your weight forward. You can either place your forearm on your knee here and stretch here, Or if you want to put your hand down in front of your foot, you can stretch out there. Take a couple of deep breaths here. And again, a couple of arm circles to stretch out your shoulder. Nice. And stretch. And slowly making your way back to hands and knees. And this time taking the other arm for thread the needle. Placing your shoulder on the ground. And taking that arm and placing it behind you. Stretching out that shoulder, taking a couple of deep breaths here. Good, and one more breath here. And taking your right hand, placing it in front of your face, pushing back up and taking your right leg out to the side, dropping your hip to get a stretch through the inside of your leg there. And we'll bring that back in. And toes together, feet, knees nice and wide apart to make space for your belly, and then fold forward into child's pose, walking those fingers out, stretching. You might feel a stretch in your armpits here. And walking out, stretching through the left side of the body. And then walking your way to the other side. Good, and coming back up onto hands and knees, we'll move into some cat and cow. So, rounding out your back, ballooning out, and inhale, arching, looking up, and exhale, ballooning out your back. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. And from here we'll do some hip circles. So you can move your hips around however it feels good. Usually when you're pregnant, this feels really good because of that hormone relaxin is stretching out all the tendons and muscles in your pelvis. And so just moving around however it feels good for some hip circles. If you want to sit back on one side and stretch out through your glute, you can. Whatever feels good in your own body. Good. And when you're ready, we will just tuck our feet underneath us and come back to a nice, comfortable seated position. So now we're going to stretch out our neck. So you can just take your head to one side and put your other hand on the front of your shoulder, and you can stretch out there and roll your head forward, stretching out the back of your neck and all the way to the other side. And you should feel a nice stretch down the front there as you pull on the skin. And just roll however it feels good. You can take and look up and look down. Good. And we'll do some shoulder rolls. And other way. And stretch your arm across. And you can grab your strap if you want. And take your one arm up, dangle your strap behind you, take the other arm and pull there. Good. And we'll take the other arm across for stretch. And when you're ready, picking up your strap or your towel and dropping it behind you, bending at the elbows, grabbing the strap on the other side, or if you can bring your fingers together, you can do that. And getting a really nice stretch through here. Sitting up nice and straight, chin slightly tucked. And good, we'll release that. So now we're going to stretch out our hands and our wrists. So we're going to come onto our knees here, if this is comfortable for you, or you can stay in a seated position. And so we'll bring our hands down onto the ground, and then you can just lean in and stretch out each one of your fingers. So however, move your hands around, but use a little bit of your body weight there to stretch out your hands. You can tuck your wrists under, and again, just whatever feels good, not too much weight there. Good. And then you can also turn your wrists out like this and stretch them out this way. So, and then sitting back and stretching out your wrists. Remembering to breathe deeply. And slowly peel your hands off the ground. Bring them up in front of you. So put your hands out in front. You're going to stretch out your thumb, pull back on it. Just however much tension feels good. And placing your hand up and pulling back on your fingers, and other way through your wrist. Should feel good, shouldn't hurt. And we'll pull on the other thumb, pull back, and pull up on those fingers. Nice. And again, other way for the wrists. And we'll just do some circles. Again, whatever feels good. We're just stretching it out today. And we're going to move into our feet now. So you can move from your knees and then just tuck your feet under. Come into kind of a little squat here. And then you want to go up on your toes and then just stretch out through the bottom of your feet. Whatever feels good here. Stretching out the bottom of your feet. Our feet are apt to get really sore in pregnancy with a little bit of extra weight that we're carrying around. Nice. Hopefully that's feeling good. And then come back down and come to a seated position. We'll just take one foot out in front of us. And then you can just pull back on your toes. You can pull back, feels good, one toe at a time. And we'll lean back. We'll just circle out that foot. And you can put the other foot out there and pull back on your toes, whatever feels good, one at a time. Good. And stretch it, circle it out. Good. And from here we'll move our feet forward. We're just going to do an easy forward fold. And actually you can leave your knees a little bit bent if you want to make room for your belly. The goal here is to stretch out our back. So we're almost going to think of bringing the top of our head down towards our knees. And balloon out your back. Relax your head. Good, and coming up, we will take one foot in and we're going to grab our straps now and do a hamstring stretch. So you can just put your strap around the bottom, so the middle to the bottom of your foot, and wherever you're comfortable there, we want to sit up straight, and then you can flex your foot, toes up towards the ceiling, and pull yourself forward with a lengthened spine. So chin slightly tucked, and then picture a rope pulling through the top of your head there. And a couple of breaths here. Big inhales. Good. And while we're here, we're going to move our strap up and we're going to stretch out our calves. So now I want you to come farther back, so we're not stretching our hamstrings anymore, but the strap is going to pull on the top of our foot and you're going to let it go and stretch out your calf muscle here. So foot is totally relaxed here. You should be able to wiggle it a little bit and stretching out your calf here. Sitting up nice and straight, finding length in your spine. And breathe into the stretch. And when you're ready, you can just let your band go, and we'll bring our other foot out. And again, placing the strap for our hamstring stretch first. And so inhale and then fold forward, keeping a lengthened spine. And just wherever is comfortable for you, a little bit of tension, but it shouldn't be painful. It should feel good, stretching it out. Take some deep breaths once you're here. Perfect. And we'll do one more breath here. And on an exhale, if you need to, you could bend and place your strap around your toes. Relax your foot, bring your body up to a seated position, and so you should be able to pull back and then just stretch out your calf, just however feels good. Lots of length, deep breaths. And one more breath here. Perfect. And so now we can put down our strap beside us and bring our legs up in front of us. And we're going to move into a figure 4 stretch. So just taking your ankle and just above your knee, crossing it over. You can lean back and then bring your foot as close in as gets a stretch there. So lots of length throughout the spine, and you want to get a stretch here throughout your glutes. Deep breaths, chest up and open. Good. You can flex your foot. And when you're ready, give yourself a little bit of space, move that foot and switch to the other side, crossing your ankle over top of your thigh, just above your knee, flexing your foot and bringing it in a little bit, sitting up straight and taking a few deep breaths here. Good, we'll take one more breath here. And when you're ready, giving yourself a little bit of space. And we're going to bring our legs out into wide leg forward fold. So again, just bringing them out as far as feels comfortable for you. You don't have to bring them far apart. You might have them quite close together. You don't want to stretch out too much through there, but however far is comfortable for you. Once you're there, give yourself a little bit of a boost. If you want to, you can also put a block underneath your seat bones or sit on a pillow if that's more comfortable. And you might stay here, but if you did want a deeper stretch, you can always walk forward there. Good. And we're just going to hang out here, take some deep breaths. Feel free to move back and forth. Again, whatever feels good. Just taking time to stretch and make your body feel good. So take some time, straighten your legs. You want to flex your feet, toes are pointed up towards the ceiling. Also make sure that your knees and aren't rolling in, but they're turned out. Good. And if you wanted to take your strap, you can walk yourself over to the other side. You can either bend your leg and put it around or just throw it over your leg and fold over to the side and inhale and stretch. Good. And when you're ready, inhale back up, and you can walk yourself over to the other side. Bend your knee if you have to, throw it over, and stretch there, and inhale, and stretch to the other side. And inhale, coming back up. We'll let our strap go again and bring our feet back in for butterfly or Baddha Konasana. So opening up your feet like a book, and whether your knees are here or they're falling, wherever they fall is good, and just relaxing them out, opening up your hips, and bounce your knees a little bit if that feels good. And you can either stay here if this is a deep enough stretch, or if you want to go deeper, you can lengthen forward like this. And deep breaths all the way into your back ribs here too. Nice. If it feels good, you can put a little bit of pressure from your elbows on your legs, but don't feel like you have to. Good, and when you're ready, we will come back up and bring your knees together, and we will work our way down. So gently lower yourself down onto your side. Make sure that you can reach your strap. There you go, and you can place your head in your hand if that's comfortable for you there. And so you're going to lift your knee up, take your ankle, and we're just going to do a nice quad stretch here. So stretching out your leg behind you. Good. So you might be getting a quad stretch. If you choose to take your leg farther back, you might be getting a hip flexor stretch as well. Whatever feels good. And we'll bring that back in, and we're going to lift our leg up here and stretch it up. So you can hold your thigh, or you can hold your calf, or if you wanted to flex your foot and reach your toe, you can do that here. If you wanted to put a strap around your foot and hold your strap, you can do that as well. So just taking some time, stretching it out. Deep breaths. If you're not ready to get out of a stretch at any time, you can just pause the video, continue the stretch, and then unpause when you're ready. Good, and we'll let that go. And bending the knee, bringing that back in, and we'll work our way to the other side, or you can just roll over. And again, gently, we don't want to be using any of those rectus abdominis muscles. Working the way to the other side, and bringing your knee in, grabbing your ankle, and stretching your quads. You might also be getting a nice stretch through that shoulder there. And one more breath here. And on an exhale, bring it back in. And you can bring that leg up. And you can stay here. You can grab there. You can flex your foot and grab your toe. Or place your strap around and grab wherever is comfortable for you. Good. A couple more breaths here. This is one of my favorite stretches. And after this, we're going to finish up our practice and work our way into Shavasana. Good. So you can take the strap down, and again, just bending your knee. And so if you are already lying down here, you can just work your way into Shavasana. If you're in your second trimester or farther along, you can go on your side. I'm just going to grab a pillow here. If you wanted another pillow for between your knees, you can grab a second pillow and just gently lower yourself down. Good. So you can put, if you wanted, you could put a pillow between your knees there. And we'll do a couple of deep breaths in and exhale. And one more. You can place your hand on your belly and just relax all your muscles, the muscles of your face. Let go. Feel heavy on the ground. And when you're ready, you can start wiggling your fingers and your toes and your ankles and your wrists and stretch above. And when you're ready, come back up to a seated position that's comfy for you. And we will finish off with a birth affirmation, which is, my body is healthy and strong and knows how to birth my baby. So namaste to you and namaste to the babies. We'll see you next time.